Welcome back, everybody, to the GameStar E-League Spring Series, Week 5. And we've still got the captains. We've got Hades and Slizshaw here for a very quick interview before we get into Wumbology versus Team Solo Alt. And I'm going to ask Hades quickly first. You had 2 subs tonight. Take us through the integration for those 2 coming in tonight.
Basically, our 2 DPS players actually had something on tonight. One of them is something called exams or something important, like I don't know what that is about, and then our other player Josh had something like a get together or some type of event, I don't know, but he's gone as well. So we had the 2 subs, and shout out to Psycho and Tails, they did amazingly.
And so with obviously Josh and Chronix, are they going to be back next week, and you guys still focusing on Div 1, even though you've got the Paladins, you're still trying to get into that top 4?
Basically, we're just logging on Overwatch for the GameStar series. Besides that, we're not really playing much Overwatch, and we're focusing on Paladins. And you should be seeing Tails a lot more subbing for the team, because we'll very often have one person missing. So Tails is basically like a core now, just rotating between players.
And I want to ask Slid quickly. Slid, a couple of the commentators, myself especially, touched on the fact that you guys have got a very good offensive game. You attack really well, but defensively, there's some things left to be, I guess, questioned. Do you guys feel that as well?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's just like a practice, really. I mean, we've only been together for not that long, and during that time, we haven't practiced together much because of people not showing up and things like that. And Chilla's only been here for like a week or so. So I think it's just lack of experience, really, as a team.
And obviously you are a new team coming as well from Div 2, and it was kind of a last-second put together. Do you guys feel like you're getting better each week and that you're growing together?
Yeah, for sure. I think we got massive potential. We just need to practice more and just bring it out. I reckon we can take on the best teams.
Alrighty, so thanks Hades and Sliz for sticking around. We do have to get into Wumbology versus Team Solo. I'll be joined by Genome, and sitting on the Analyst desk as well will be BobbyJ and Dr. Nutter to give us their thoughts. But we should be ready to go into the game now, as it's going to be Dr. Nutter on the host. Going to surely get us in. Genome, you're going to be casting with me. What are your thoughts with Wumbology and Team Solo Alt going into this one?
Yeah, let's have a look at what results they've had so far. Wumbology, they've been taken down by Aftermind. They've also gone down to Abyss and Skyfire, and Tempo Storm. So they've played pretty much all the top teams so far. The games they've got left, they'll definitely have more of a chance in, and I'm really hoping that Wumbology versus Team Solo Alt is going to be a close one tonight.
Yeah, as you said, Wumbology have played a lot of the top teams. I'll quickly get your thoughts, BobbyJ. Wumbology, they've still got to play, obviously, Team Solo Alt now. Then they've got 2 Minutes, 1 Noodle, and then Masterminds. They've had probably the hardest run of all the other teams.
Yeah, they've versed in tempo, and is no easy task. So this is going to be a true test for them to see where they're at, because Team Solo Alt have lost. They lost games to Tempo, Masterminds, and then they won. They actually beat Aftermind 2-1 the other week. So Team Solo Alt have got some points on the board, but they're not. I wouldn't say at the same level as some of the other teams I've just mentioned. So if Wumbology are going to step up and get some points on the leaderboard, on the Zowie leaderboard, this is where to do it, and especially here on a Koth map as Nepal, anything can happen, so let's see what they've got in store for us.
Well, we're on to Nepal. This is going to be very brawly. It's going to be very intense action to kick things off. Noid going to jump straight away into the back line, actually. Trivac will get that shield up in the face of him, though, keeping all of the damage soaked up. But it's a nice start so far for Wumbology. Can Team Solo Alt get onto the point? Gino, it's going to be a very close game.
Yeah, Wumbology taking the high ground first here and choosing when to engage. Noid coming down to harass those supports and successfully taking out the Ana. The Reinhardt's got no one to heal him, so it's only his shield to keep him alive at the moment. Birdie's still flying around on the Lucio, and they've come back. They've managed to make use of that Reinhardt shield and take the damage onto Wumbology, sitting behind that as Noid getting his Primal Rage out very early, delaying quite a lot. So the point's still ticking up for Wumbology here, Zenox.
Yeah, he popped the Primal Rage, but not much has come from it. Very good positioning coming out from Team Solo Alt. They gave up the point as it's now 25%, but they're finally getting the kills, and they're going to get back in control now. So 28% for Wumbology to kick things off, but Team Solo Alt have got back in control with some very nice team coordination.
Yeah, look, 30%, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's a great thing to get out of a first fight. So I think Noid popping that Primal Rage, absolutely worth it for that delay. Micro, he's doing a little sneaky here on the Zenyatta, but he's been spotted out by Noid, and he's not going to be able to get off anything there as they come through the top side. Graviton Surge is coming out from both sides, and the Pulse Bomb not getting anything done as they also pop the sound barriers. Transcendence coming out from Sarcastic here, but the Team Solo Alt not pushing into that a lot. They're waiting for it to go down, as then they go in with the Beyblade, and Micro takes down the opposing Reaper as they get control of the fight and continue their run here on Sanctum.
Well, if you look up patience in the dictionary, I think you're going to see a picture of Team Solo Alt. They were extremely patient there. They were also really patient, as we saw in the very first push, where they actually let Wumbology get on the point, get even some points on the Zowie scoreboard. But since then, the way that they've been playing is very, very patient, picking the times when to go into the fights and using their ult sparingly. Trivac had his ult that entire time and didn't use the Earth Shatter because he didn't need to, as Noid is going to jump on and die immediately without his team. That was not the right situation. The rest of his team around on the right hand side. Micro gets a kill onto Lenzo as well. Now the Earth Shatter comes out from Trivac, takes down Pandy. Absence OG trying to do anything he can, takes down Scythe, but it's not going to be enough. And at 75% already, Team Solo Alt have very much quietly gone about their business the right way.
Yeah, Noid obviously looking a little bit itchy there, jumping in just too fast. He gets the Zarya bubble, but that doesn't matter because his team's too far away, and he gets picked off so easily. They just, all 6 of them focused him down, and then the fight from there was pretty easy with Chybak laying down the hammer, and this is the last attempt here from Wumbology.
Now the Graviton Surges are both going to come out for both teams. The Nano Boost as well onto Micro. Gets 1, 2, then 3, then 4. He's got a quadra kill, and now it's a quintuple, and that's going to be the overtime completed. Team Solo Alt, what a first round victory for them. They were very, very patient to kick things off. They weren't too phased with Wumbology taking the point early on, but Doctor, in the end, Team Solo Alt, they looked perfect.
Yeah, they really good beats there as well from that. Lucio denied that combo that it really felt Wumbology was relying on. They were relying on that Grav Pulse Bomb to help them retake that point, but it absolutely superbly timed beats from the support of Birdie completely denied that. And with the lineup they were running, it was so much stronger to defend with that Reinhardt to play behind and then have your McCree get those picks. And then you saw Wumbology swapped into that sort of lineup. But if you're swapping into that sort of play style, you're already playing from a disadvantage. And you're behind in ults, and it was really desperation because it was so late to swap into it.
And Genome, now we're coming back in again. Can Wumbology, I guess, deal with the patience of Team Solo Alt? They know now that even if they get on the point straight away, they might not have actually won it completely.
No, the patience I think is a key attribute of that Ana composition that they're running here. But we see the Reinhardt coming out from Noid here, so he's changed off the Winston, and we're going to see the Ryan v Ryan battle as he goes in and gets taken out very quickly, unfortunately. It's a trade though, Absence in the back on the Tracer, being very annoying, keeping a lot of attention from Team Solo Alt. And Ziff getting a couple of kills on the McCree there. It looks like, I think that's Team Solo Alt getting control of this point.
And Birdie got a really good boop onto Lenzo's, knocked him completely off. No one's still on the point. It is available to be captured. They're finally going to start to get on at Team Solo Alt. Absence OG on that pesky Tracer, coming in, dashing, recalling, and then dying all in one. And it's going to be Team Solo Alt capturing the point now. And even in that first fight, it was Noid who charged in first for Wumbology. So again, they're still starting these fights. It's Team Solo Alt who are waiting and being patient and letting them come in and then getting the vital kills after that.
Yeah, Igo Stripe, he's got his Zarya Graviton Surge up already here. Nice spacing, Deadeye there from Ziff, but the Reinhardt makes it very hard to get anything done with that, as Wumbology carefully just poke onto the point here. Graviton Surges, oh my god, so many ults coming out here. Shivak's got the nano boost, but he's on the floor, and with a pulse bomb on top of him to boot, but it doesn't matter because his teammates are cleaning up on the point, and that's a really nice battle there from Team Solo Alt.
And the Graviton Surge from Igo Stripe completely wasted, only getting birdie, and it didn't really do anything even regarding that. And now 45% for Team Solo Ult. They are taking these fights perfectly. They're not wasting their ultimates, and when they do use their ultimates, they're always to perfection. Chivak still has got that Earth Shadow as well as Micro with the Death Blossom, so a combination is still up for them. So should Wumbology again start another fight. They are ready to deal with it, and so they're not going to push on through here. They're going to wait for Wumbology to come through.
Yeah, I think they need a really quick fight here just to try and get rid of some of the ults on Team Solo Ult, who have, well, I think they only used one, maybe two there, and it was a very quick cleanup. Unfortunately, Wumbology didn't do a lot of damage there. They really needed to get a couple of picks or something because they're still a long way away from any ultimates coming up besides Sarcastica, who might be able to pop an offensive Transcendence here. Absence is going to try and flank round on the backside here on his Tracer, but I'm not sure if he's going to get anything done with that, Zenox.
Almost calling me yourself there, one Genome, as Trimac pops the Earth Shadow. Maliki, though, takes down Noid, so Team Solo will continue to get these vital kills. Micro takes down Sarcastica as well, and we're going to get to 95%, although there is a bit of a sneaky camp onto their point. It's Absence OG on that pesky Tracer as always. He falls down to Micro and says, get off my point. The Graviton Surge should block things up, and that will be the second point on the Zenox scoreboard, going the way of Team Solo Ult. And BobbyJ, it is going all the way of Team Solo Ult.
Yeah, Wumbology can't apply any pressure right now, and I just feel the Beyblade is just unanswered right now. So maybe we should see an Uno from Wumbology to see if they can have their own Beyblade, because that threat is just so huge on a cough map like Nepal when it's so closely contested in close quarters.
And Doctor, your thoughts on this now? Is there any chance for Wumbology to sort of pick things up and get back into this game? We saw the Div 2 last night, the turnaround from that game. Is there a chance?
I think them going back to a dive comp suits them the most. We saw the best performance on the first point with that really fast comp. They just needed to consolidate off early picks that they're getting with it. They really got pressured by that Reinhardt on that first point, and they didn't get that McCree, and you saw as if go really well and really huge on that McCree after they lost those early picks.
So Wumbology going to go very aggressive once again. Noid takes down Birdie, but he's going to fall for his troubles. Lenzo takes down Micro, though. So a nice start this time from Wumbology. Chivak is going to take down the Genji and Lenzo. And Sarcastic takes down Chivak as well. 5 minutes until the point unlocks. And Wumbology will be much happier with that fight.
Yeah, so Wumbology doing what Dr. Nero advised there, and I think absolutely what they need to do. Getting on the dive comp, because a poke, you know, a very slow, patient game, as you said, that Team Solo Ult were playing, it favors the team with the Ana. That's it. Whoa, they've come back in here to recontest. A couple of early picks allowing the respawns to come back in here for Team Solo Ult. Picks going still either way. Drazzle on the Zarya here, doing a nice job and getting down the last one. So Team Solo Ult, after losing a couple of early players, they managed to get the point first. Interesting turnaround.
Yep. So Team Solo Ult actually grouped up and then went on to the point, and they were able to sort of surprise Wumbology in a sort of way, figuratively speaking. Wumbology just weren't expecting that at all, and they had lost 2 almost immediately when Team Solo Ult came to contest the point. They're up to 15% now, and they've got the high ground in their favor. Team Solo Ult looking very, very calm and clean. The Dorado is going to come out as well from Zyve. Drazel takes down Sarcastic, and Zyve with a triple kill as well. This is not looking good for Wumbology.
No, and we saw the Dragon Blade. No, it didn't come out for Lenzo. I thought I saw him pull it out there. I swear he did. Okay, anyway. So anyway, Team Solo Ult, they're resetting onto the high ground here. We'll probably see Wumbology go through the main door again, I would have thought. That tends to be the best way when the other team's holding the high ground, because I feel like they're just about to walk into a Graviton Surge and get completely wiped. We'll see what happens.
Micro has got the Nano Boost up his sleeve. He's now got the Death Blossom as well. Is he going to pop it? Yes, he does. He takes down 1-2. Drazzle takes down Lenzo to make it 3. 55% for Team Solo Ult. They are looking ready to move on to the next map already. They've had enough of Nepal, and they want to finish this as quick as possible.
I think they might have just used 5 ults there, Wumbology, and that is absolutely unacceptable to use that many and lose a team fight that badly. Wow, they really can't afford to do that and lose the fight, Zenox. 75% down. They've got one more fight, and they've got a long way to come back if they want to take Nepal.
Yeah, 80% now. They've got no other option but to get onto the point, get the fight to go into their favor. Absence OG, this Tracer has not been working. Trying to pulse the Earth Shatter, but it's going to be Sarcastica with that Tranquility healing them up. Micro with a double kill though, and at 91%, it's still looking all the way for Team Solo Ult. They continue to get the kills that matter, and they aren't dying very often. Zaf takes down Lenzo. This one's all but over. 3-0 on the Zari scoreboard for this first game.
Yeah, excellent job there, and I think we really need to talk about the support compositions here and how that affects the way you play the game. Because in an Ana composition, you want to be taking longer battles where you poke a lot and you build up the nano boost on the Ana, and Team Solo Ult were using that style so effectively. Wumbology, unfortunately, they should have been playing their own game. They should have been using the dive comp and going in really quick, not letting the Ana get that, and trying to pick her early to take her out of the fight and take the nano boost out of the fight. Unfortunately, they didn't play their own game. They fell right into Team Solo Ult's trap, and as a result, we see them going down 3-0 there on Nepal.
Doctor, what are your thoughts on that game? Should have they been more aggressive than they already were, or maybe they should have actually been a bit more patient and sort of let Team Solo Ult come to them?
I think when they were playing that aggression, they actually won quite a few fights. Like the opening fights a lot, they'd win them with that aggression, but they just didn't consolidate after taking those kills. And because they just didn't get the follow-up kills that they really needed to get, they got picked off by the reinforcing rest of Team Solo Ult. And I think their dive comp does favor them, but as Genome said, they fell into the trap of playing the slow game and getting caught out by it. And just playing slow, and then as was happening, they committed 5 ultimates without getting any kills. It was good, really good play from Team Solo Ult's supports, but it just wasn't enough that late. They should have really got in for those really early picks, and they just, the first opening fights, really coordinated, but it broke down after you saw Solo come back in with that really structured defense on those points.
And BobbyJ, I'll just quickly get your thoughts going into Hollywood, as it looks like we will be getting straight into it. This is obviously going to be a different game for Wumbology than the King of the Hill. Are you going to give them any sort of a chance to, I guess, even the series?
Well, yeah, anything can happen, but as Doctor was just touching on, with the using 5 ults in one fight and getting nothing out of it, that's devastating, and you can't do that. And Genome was pointing that out as well during the cast. So I feel like Wumbology, like as they start off, they can win like the first fights, but I think the ult management is lacking in their team. I feel that's what they need to work on. And with that Beyblading Reaper, they didn't have an answer for that either. And Ziff on the McCree, they had no one to get in there and kill him because he was just alive pretty much for all the fights. So let's see what they can do in Hollywood. If they can have an answer to these things and mix things up, as you can see, they've got an Ana there. So you know, the time will tell. We haven't seen him on Ana yet.
Yeah, one of the things I'm going to be interested to find out when we talk to the captains after this is who's the shot caller for Wumbology, and you know, like what's their system for ult management? Is someone calling out, you know, what they should be using before each fight? Because if there's no way they could have just gone in there and said, okay, let's use 5 ults all at once. It's just not the way to do it.
So Wumbology will be defending first here on Hollywood, and that means that Team Solo Ult are going to get the first crack at them going in. Genome, what are your thoughts, I guess, on Hollywood? I touched on it with Bobby. Is there like a massive difference coming from the King of the Hill? Do you give Wumbology a chance?
Oh, they've absolutely got a chance. I think the teams we've got here in Division 1, maybe Tempo Storms and 1 or 2 others, will always be taking it against like the 7 or 8 teams, but these teams are both close to the bottom at the moment, and I think absolutely have got a chance against each other, as we see a pharmacy versus pharmacy battle. Ooh.
Yeah, we don't see that too often these days. Double pharmacy coming out for both teams. Micro on the Farah as well as Lenzo. So they're going to be battling things out, as well as the 2 Reinhardts. Very similar team competitions coming out. In fact, it seems like it's really the Lucia versus Ana, the Tracer versus McCree as well. So that's about it. Otherwise, it is very, very similar. But holding firm at the moment, Wumbology seem very grouped up. They're doing a nice job of staying alive. They're just not getting any picks right now. A very nice push off from Lenzo, though, to scatter Team Solo Ult. And Noid takes down Malekith to kick things off. Malekith was able to take down Sarcastia before that. Zaf takes down Noid, though, and it's the kill starting to come for Team Solo Ult. Lenzo was able to kill Micro as well, but the revive comes out as well.
Yeah, great revive there. I think picking up maybe 2. That said, Micro's still on top of the point, still pumping in the damage with his rocket launcher there. Lenzo rocket jumps off the ground and goes flying. Sarcastica only one left on the point here. So yeah, interesting pharmacy versus pharmacy battle. They didn't do much against each other. They did very well against the rest of the groups there. Obviously, Absence OG on the McCree, that's going to have an advantage taking down that pharmacy combo versus the Tracer we saw. Even saying that, you know, Team Solo won the fight, so.
Yeah, and so when Wumbology looked a little bit more defensive there, they were defending, but they still didn't engage when they had the opportunity. Once they had knocked him down, they really needed to swarm on top of them, as Micro has killed Sarcastica already. This could be a really very easy Streets phase if they can get more kills. Micro again taking down Igo Stripe, and then Lenzo, he also pops the rocket barrage. Lenzo was able to kill Birdie.
Nice res.
In the end, the res comes out as well. So it's still looking like Team Solo Alt have that sort of momentum, but Wumbology starting to get some footing into the ground.
Yeah, the Nano Boost and the Barrage not doing really much in the end, as the res completely negates that. And Chivak being pushed all the way out here, finally deciding to charge out and reset with the rest of his team. So both teams sticking on the pharmacy, but though we do have Ziff on the Widowmaker. We haven't seen him really been on the kill feed yet. Oh, goes for the jump shot. Unfortunately not getting onto the Pharaoh there. Lenzo just dominating that high ground with Pandy.
Yeah, you'd expect Malekith's going to try and pick off Lenzo. That's his main objective, and then also take out the Mercy as well. Lenzo pops the Rocket Barrage, but he gets taken down by Ziff. So that Widowmaker seems to be working those 2 early picks. Birdie's going to fly in and get a revive to keep that momentum going, to keep the numbers in their favor for Team Solo Alt, and to be able to push this payload. But Absence OG taking down Ziff. He's going to try and flip the script a little bit here, as Malekith does finally take him down. Wumbology is still holding firm with 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the Zowie scoreboard. Now it's going to be the Earthshatter from Noid, though. He's not mucking around. He wants more kills. Sarcastica went down to Trivac though, and now Micro takes down Noid. So finally Team Solo Alt continue to get these kills and finally get the presence and the team fight to go their way.
Yeah, I thought they might be going the other way, as Drazzle popped his Graviton Surge behind a post. Really awkward. They had some natural cover from that, and no follow-up. Neither of those players went down. Zip on the high ground here, smashing Lenzo, smashing Absence, and he's not being dealt with. We've seen him take out both the Pharaoh and the Mercy so far, so Zip absolutely working out. I assume we will see him swap off as we get into this 3rd point here. It'll be interesting to see if the pharmacy stays on. And Nano Boosted Barrage comes out, but doesn't matter because they're being all res straight away. They're contesting this point vigorously. They really want to stay on. Micro, the Nano Boost wears off and he's still alive. Lenzo trying to get up there. He switched off the Pharaoh onto a Genji now, we see. Chivak charging back onto the cart. This is a very, very crazy defense here, Zenox.
Yeah, Noid charges in, takes down Chivak on top of the card as Zef takes down Absence OG as well. He's on fire right now, literally and figuratively speaking, both. Lenzo goes down to Zef as well. Micro takes down Sarcastica, and from all of the ults of Wumbology, it hasn't made a difference because all the kills are going to Team Solo Alt, and they've got the point. And with 3 minutes and 30 seconds still in their time on the Zowie scoreboard, they're looking very comfortable to push all the way through.
Yeah, we're seeing so many reses come out this game. Wow, I haven't seen a game play out like this since, you know, 3 or 4 whole metas ago, it seems like almost. And Ziff staying on the Widowmaker, it seems. Really interesting to see. Interested to see if he stays on that after he goes down for the next respawn. As it looks like Wumbology, they're pushing up quite far here on the defense.
Yeah, the Graviton Surge has got to come out really early. Birdie is hanging around as well up top. Lenzo takes down Micro, so no damage was going to be able to come from that. Trivac with a very long charge takes down Noid, but Absence OG was able to take down Drazzle, his counterpart, and now Sif taking down Absence OG, and then he gets a double kill into Lenzo, but the revive as well comes out from Pandy, but all the kills for Sif, 1, 2, then 3, 2 of them on Lenzo as well, because of the revive, and now it takes down Absence OG. He is just clogging up the kill feed with 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go on this. Cart is moving very close to the finish line.
Yeah, he's been almost uncontested, hasn't he? They had Micro, they had the Genji here to try and deal with him, but Lenzo's not getting far enough into the backline to be able to do it. He's just been completely saved by that Mercy as Micro, Nano Booster Barrage takes out 2. Noid's on the cart with the stall Diva, Absence OG on the Tracer as well, just trying to keep this alive. But it's going to be very hard for them here as most of the opposing team, the attackers, they're all alive here. And Ziff He's just doing everything. Headshots non-stop as Igo Stripe might be the last one here. No, Noid comes in on the Diva again. And Ziff, this guy finally taken down, but is it too late? No, the Mei, the stall heroes are going to work, Zenox.
Yeah, they're going to get the Mei out and the Diva. The stall phase is happening. Micro takes down Sarcastica, though, with a minute 40 to go. They're still holding on. Pandy is trying to get the revive to happen at 83%, but falls down. And with 1 minute and 38 is going to be their time bank. Nicely executed in the end by Team Solo Alt. And Ziff was the difference maker. Doctor, what could have Wumbology done to stop him?
Yeah, as you've mentioned, Ziff, they're absolutely going huge on that Widowmaker, getting away with so much. They did pull out that Genji to answer and deal with him, but there wasn't enough committing of the rest of the team when he went in. Every time Lenz went on that Genji to chase that Widow, he was getting picked by that Pharah, and other people were turning around to help that Widow. They were supporting and playing around that Widow really well on Team Solo Alt. But if we'd seen Wumbology commit quite heavily as he went in, there was a good opportunity there if they could draw that support away from the Widow, or if they went to commit to save the Widow, the rest of the team would have been isolated and be able to pick off. It was less, they didn't communicate that dive, and they had a really good opportunity to do it. There was a few times it was quite close, but in the end, Solo Alti playing really well structured around what they were picking there with that Widow.
Yeah, and good point there. You know, when you go in to try and take out that Widow, that's, you know, it almost turns into a 5v6 if you can do that. But it was almost like the rest of the players were scared. They were like, oh no, we can't go out because the Widow's there. But then you're not going to deal with it if you don't commit while it's happening.
And BobbyJ, just your thoughts for Wumbology. What do you think they need to do now?
Well, what they need to do now... Well, I just want to touch on first that Team Solo Alt have just been applying so much pressure, which is exploiting the ult management from Wumbology, because that has been a downfall throughout the games tonight. So they had Pandy switch to Mercy. She's one of the better Mercy players in the region, so it did help them out. But then they got the Widowmaker to quickly deal with that situation with the pharmacy combo. So what they need to do is definitely just work. They've got a minute and 38 in the bank to go up against, which is definitely beatable. So they can be rest assured that they've got a good chance now to have a good offensive push. So they won't be too stressed about it. So if they can manage their ults and time things correctly and all go in as 6 and not hesitate, they'll have a good chance of taking out this first checkpoint early.
Well, they've gone with the Tracer, they've gone with the Genji and the Winston. They're very dive-happy comp, expecting them to kind of just sort of jump straight onto the point. And there it is, immediately Noid into the backline along with Absence OG, trying to take down those supports. Jazzle, though, is going to be able to pick up Sarcastica already, and it's Wumbology falling like flies. 1, 2, then 3, then 4. Pandy and Igo Stripe say, well, we don't want any of that, we're going to have to back off.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if Wumbology were expecting a completely different lineup here from Team Solo Alt, because they've changed it up. Micro's on the Mei now, Ziff's on the Reaper. It's a completely different lineup. It's not as easy to dive a Mei because she frees you, and they're sticking together. You know, the Pharah's not floating away high there from the team. The Mercy's not hiding. They're all sticking together.
Yep, jumping up again is Noid. This time he gets a bit of help from Pandy to able to take down Malakith. Micro goes down as well to Igo Stripe. That's a really big pick off. They don't have to worry about the freeze. But Zip still getting kills. Takes down Lenzo. Trivac was able to kill Noid as well. Igo Stripe did take down Drazzle, but it's still favoring for Team Solo Alt. And Igo Stripe looks like he's going to have to back off once again.
Yeah, very nice fight there. They might be able to team up and get in here before the reinforcements from Team Solo Alt come through here. They really need to recognize they've got this chance and go in quickly, utilize the speed of this dive comp. But great Earth Shatter there from Trivac, delaying them just enough. A Blizzard coming through is going to get Igo Stripe as well. Zen behind the Mei wall, unfortunately. We've got a Primal Rage Winston slapping around, but that's not enough to get this point.
Yep, they used the Blizzard, they used the Earth Shatter from Team Solo Alt, and unfortunately though for Wumbology, they used a couple of ults as well. They really should have just gone in there, baited the ultimates out from Team Solo Alt, and then come back around for another try with their ultimates. Instead, they're only going to really have the Dragon Blade coming up, and they've got the Transcendence. Ziff though, he's ready, he's got that Death Blossom, and as well as the Nano Boost. Blade, watch out.
Yeah, let's see if they push it in here. There he goes, right on top. He's got the little hiding spot. He gets the Zarya bubble too. Nice Transcendence to cancel it out though. Pandy doing a great job of popping that just at the right time, keeping everyone alive. And Lenzo, he's on the attack. gets revenge for his teammates there. Ziff and Shyvac going down to him. A nice Graviton Surge here coming out in the defense for Drazzle, though. Is that enough to turn it around for Team Solo? Oh, no, it doesn't look like it, because Lenzo's still dashing around, getting so many resets on that Swift Strike, and that's a great first point take from Wumbology.
That was perfect from Pandy, saving the day for her team. In the end, they committed the Nano Boost and the Death Blossom to try and go and wipe them out. And by doing that, they actually Team Solo were all out of position. They were all so far forward. They got no kills for it. And so Wumbology had the perfect opportunity to push back through, get the kills, which is what they did. Lenzo got a double kill on the Genji. And then, of course, that gave them the green light to push on through and get the point now to start pushing this payload. So in the end, it really did come down from a bit of a mistake from Team Solo Ult. For the first time this series, they were really impatient. They could have waited for Wumbology to come in and also to possibly ban out the Transcendence. In the end, they were their own. They shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, they did a little bit there, but a nice Maywall from Micro. That was a great placement. When you're not set up next to a choke point, it can be really hard to place those Maywalls. So I really appreciate the skill of anyone who can just throw those out on the fly and absolutely nail a choke point like Micro did there. He's definitely one of the best Mays in the scene.
And this can actually be a very tough choke hold for the attacking team to push on through. The high ground advantage now for Team Solo Ult, and they're going to utilize it to its full extent. They're all up on top, and there's really not a whole lot of pressure that's going to affect them. The Hanzo can pick off some people, but with Trivax Shield, it's going to block most of it. And there comes the nano-boosted Lucio. Watch out, guys. He's up to no good. Absence takes down Malekith, and we're going to see another Earthshatter. And now the sound barrier, comes out, and they're going to have to try and back away from this. They've realized their mistake. The Earthshatter as well from Trivac, though, gets 1 and 2. Noid in a bad position, and now Togo Strike now, as well as the May wall to try and keep them in place. Drazzle takes down Igo Strike. Finally, Zip was able to take down Noid, and somehow, out of that train wreck of a mess for Team Solo Ult, they should be able to get back into this top.
The Pandy doesn't have res up because if I think she only changed onto the Mercy as they started this second point, so she hasn't had time to build it up there. We saw that Team Solo Ult when they were attacking, they got a res pretty much exactly in that position, and that's what allowed them to push about 2/3 of this stage. So big differences here as Wumbology come in. They've got a minute 40 to get through the second point here.
Yeah, the Dragon Ultimate here we got from Lenzo. Is it going to be able to connect with anyone? It doesn't look like it. Does separate a couple of them as Absence OG comes in looking for Trivac. Now the Graviton Surge right on top of the payload. Have they got the damage to clean it up? Ziff gets one, Trivac gets a double, and then Ziff gets the other one. They've cleaned them up once again. Wumbology, no res that time from Pandy. She went down with the team. And with a minute 19 seconds on the Zenox score, but it's not looking good for Wumbology. They've got to pick up the pace.
No, they need something to change here. They've got a Pandy res. If she can position herself well, maybe they can work off that. But that's about all they've got here. Noid might pick up his Earth Shatter. Maybe even a Graviton Surge in the next fight. We'll have to see. But we've got a Beyblade ready. Ziff's on top. He's lurking. He's waiting for this. He wants it. He doesn't want to be denied. And he won't be by the Zenyatta this time because he's not there. He rolls around uncontested. He gets 2. Noid's getting pushed back.
Pandy ult.
And is the res coming in? Yes, it is! It only gets a couple, though, and they are immediately put down by an Earth Shatter. So it's not going to matter. And with 40 seconds left, I don't know if that was worth it.
Well, she had the right idea. That's what you've got to do in that situation, let them die. But as he said, she didn't really get too many. 30 seconds to go. They're running completely out of time, Wumbology, and they absolutely have got to get this next fight to go their way. But they've got no ultimates. 0. Birdie still has got a sound barrier as well to keep Team Solo Ult alive, but I don't even think they're going to need it. They've been so in control this series, as he is going to break it down just to give them that added layer of cushioning. Malekith takes down Absence OG, so there goes the Tracer already. They've lost their damage, they've lost their tank, and with 5 seconds to go, Wumbology are surely going to lose this second game to Team Solo Ult.
Sarcastica trying his best on the card. He's laid down the beat. It's only him and Pandy there, as Igo Strike goes down. The supports, Absence OG has made it back on the Tracer. Overtime's ticking down. A Maywall cutting off the Reinhardt as Absence OG takes down one. Noid takes down another, and they're holding in here. The respawns are coming in. Can Lenzo do it on the Pharah? They might get control of the card here, but no, Drazzle's too charged up. Noid's left alone. He's going to go down, and the overtime ticks down. Map 2 going to Team Solo Ult.
So BobbyJ was Team Solo Ult once again. They were well and truly in control, crushing Wumbology. What's the problem with Wumbology? What seems to be their biggest issue? They've changed a couple of heroes around. We've seen Pandy on the Mercy, on the Zenyatta. We've seen Lenzo on the Pharah, on the Genji. Nothing seems to be working.
So what I was mentioning before, they needed to go in as a team and not hesitate. So we saw them go, they had the right idea with Tracer, Winston, people just diving in at the start. We saw them all just dash in, but Igo Stripe was just hanging at the back of the Zion. That's not what you want to do. You can't get any damage off with your beam and build up their energy from the shield. So people just can't hold back. Like, they all have to go and commit in it, all die together, or just don't go in, because that's what you need to do. And Pandy hit that Transcendence when they used the Beyblade combo from Team Solar Ult, and that Transcendence changed everything, because you saw them, like a switch went off and they all went in together, and that's when they got the first checkpoint, and that worked for them. And then they put Pandy back on the Mercy, but the problem is, when she was on Mercy, everyone spread out. You saw, like, when the Beyblade would come in, everyone would run scared. Before, they had that Transcendence and everyone gathered around Pandy, but this time everyone needs to die together. If she's playing Mercy, everyone needs to die in one group, and they don't. They just spread, and she couldn't. We just saw it. She could only like res maybe like 2 people at a time instead of the whole team to turn around the fight. But it just didn't happen, and Team Solar Ult just once again taking advantage of the fact that Wumbology aren't grouping together as a team.
And ladies and gentlemen, we just saw the second Anna play of the game for 2 nights in a row. So come to GameStar if you want to see your Anna play of the games, where she seems to get picked quite often in the last 2 days. I'll get your thoughts quickly, Doctor, as well, heading into Dorado now for Wumbology and Team Solar, the final game of the night. Wumbology, as BobbyJ just said, they've got a lot of things to work on. Can they start putting it into practice straight away?
Yeah, they're struggling with that. They did struggle with that dive comp. They actually, on that first attack on Hollywood there, they all dived the Anna there, but he survived on very low HP along with the mate. And they committed nearly all 6 players to jumping on that player, but didn't get the kill. And that's a really big misplay if you can't get 1 kill with about 4 or 5 players jumping on them. Eventually, they did some really good support ultis, and I'd like to mention from both teams, there's been some really strong support ultimates coming out saving their team. Birdie's had some really good timed beats to just save the Pulse Bomb Graviton combos. But then afterwards, we actually saw Lens come out with that Dragon Blade, which cleaned up and got them that first point. And also from Pandy, with that Transcendence. And I would have liked to see them stay on that Zenyatta against the comp they were running into. Because the Transcendence is a stronger way of just surviving through and still being able to put out damage. Whereas if you're rezzing, you've got to die and fully reset. And just Transcendence keeps you alive and keeps you fighting, instead of losing a fight and then going into a second fight. You're just trying to take that one solid fight out. And I'd like them to see them stay on that. Their dive comp was decent there at the end, but they just didn't play around it well enough. They didn't consolidate after kills they got. If they'd done that, we would have seen them possibly push a lot further. But we've just seen Team Solar Ulti playing so well around the comps they're running, with the Reaper and running those Death Blossoms and the boosts on him to just clean up those fights one after the other. And the rotations through those ultimates has been absolutely on point.
Very quickly, BobbyJ, prediction, will Wumbology get to at least the 2nd point? Yes or no?
I think they will. I think they'll get to the 2nd point. As this game's progressed so far, they've gotten better, so they will at least get to the 2nd checkpoint. So, but back to you, those Zenox.
Doctor, yes or no, quickly?
I think they'll make it at least past the first one. The second one will be interesting to see how Micro plays this mate, because he's got a really strong mate on Dorado. So, I don't know. I'm thinking they'll get past first. Second is what I'm a little bit worried about.
Alright, so Wumbology pushing on through the very first chokehold here on Dorado. Genome, it's going to be a very tough ask for them to at least get to the 3rd point. Hopefully they can, and we can actually have a long game.
Yeah, God, this choke point is hard to get through, especially when you've got Blizzards, Nano Boosted Reapers, Earth Shatters. Oh, man, it can be really tough. Pandy might try and get a good Earth Shatter, a good res off if she gets that up. But wow, that May wall from Micro, as we were saying, getting the job done, as Wumbology falling by the wayside here.
No, they're not.
No, sorry, Team Solar Ult.
Wumbology pushing on through. They're actually going to get through the chokehold. I think the team looks like they've swapped around, I believe. But yeah, Wumbology pushing on through. So they will get to the 1st point. Now, that is a very good confidence booster for them, at least going into this 2nd part next to Church, as Absence OG gets himself a double kill. He was a big factor there on the McCree. Maybe instead of Tracer all night, he should have been on the McCree.
Yeah, look, he's done a really good job in that first point. As we just said, it's so hard to push through there with the defensive options that you've got. It's one of the strongest chokes in the game. Especially, I feel like holding that choke and not worrying about the high ground is absolutely the right choice. It makes it very hard to get through, and It's even a hard point to flank, really. If you're on a Genji, something like that, it's so easy for the supports just to fall back into the middle, and they did that really well. So let's see if they can hold the high ground here.
Yeah, so it's going to be Team Solo holding up on top of the church, but have a look down the bottom. The payload continues to move. Ziff, though, was able to take down Lenzo as they jump on down. Malachi's still up top. In fact, right next to him is Pandy. They don't even see each other. The two supports have got a sort of, no kill clause happening in their contracts. Pandy and Malakith just don't seem to know each other.
No, not interested. Not socially compatible, it seems like. As we've got the McCree, Absence OG, he's holding all the way up the back here, obviously looking for a sneaky Deadeye. He's just waiting for his team to get in position before he reveals his position and comes out here. You just see him poking, he's just saying, are they in position? Are they in position? Will the Reinhardt shield turn around in time? Yes, Chivak notices it, but it doesn't matter because there's a Hunter Dragon Strike coming through anyway, and he takes out 2 with that. Absence OG cleans out 1 with that Deadeye from the back, holding onto it as long as he needs to, as Micro alone here. With his Blizzard though, he can stall out for a very long time at this if he needs to, Zenox.
Yeah, definitely. What about that Dragon Ultimate though? I thought the Graviton Surge was a little bit too early for it, but it just happened perfectly in the end as Lenzo takes down Micro there. And now it's 1 meter away with 3 minutes on the clock. A couple of the casters, well, they did say they should get to the second point, as Ziff does take down Sarcastica and Absence OG as well. Birdie getting the kill onto Noid, and what a revive from Pandy right from the top balcony. Comes on down, then goes back up. Drazzle takes down Igo Stripe though. Ziff takes down Sarcastica, and in the end, these revives have been really good revives, but they're not changing the tide of the fight.
No, it's very hard as a Mercy to get that timing right, to know whether, if you wait too long, it allows the other team to get healed back up for any damage that they've done. Sometimes you're thinking, you're just waiting for those numbers to go up. You're like, yeah, I can get a 5-man revive. But if you do that, the team might be fully healed up and in position just to crush you as soon as you get revived. So finding the spot, the right spot in between, waiting too long and not getting everybody is really tough. Pandy obviously going to work on that Dragon Strike coming out here very early to space them.
Yeah, the Deadeye is one from Absence OG, but that shouldn't really get anyone. Chivak holding that shield up really well, so it was a bit wasted there from Absence OG. The charge from Chivak has caused Sarcastica to go down, as well as Ico Strike went flying in the air. Sif takes down Noid as well. Malekith has got that Nano Boost available if he so chooses, so they've got ultimates up their sleeve. Team Soul ult, there's the res again, but I feel like they might just get wiped out once again.
Yeah, looks like the same thing's going to happen. Again, I really liked the idea of them pushing in there. So they use 2 ults, which are fantastic for spacing. Dragon Strike and Deadeye. They're ults that you have to run away from. You can't really just sit there and, shoot through them or get healed. Well, maybe if you've got a Transcendence. But they don't have that. And they just executed them a little bit too early. If they had have, spaced them out a bit further between them, maybe the Dragon Strike and then the Deadeye once they've moved off the cart, I reckon they could have pushed it to the 3rd point here, but alas, they've got 1 minute 20 to take it.
Yeah, and where they're killing them, which is right at the end of the 2nd point, means such a long walk back for Wumbology. As Zef gets the Beyblade, gets 1, then 2. Noid and Absence OG feel the wrath of the Beyblade. He gets another kill as well onto Igo Stripe. Drazzle takes down Sarcastica, and with 1 minute left to go on the Zenox scoreboard, it's Team Solo getting back where they've started all night, in control.
Yeah, nice Beyblade there coming through and mopping them up. Let's have a look at the ultimates. We've got 4 for the defending side, only 2 for the attackers. They're both crowd control ults, though if they get those in, Absence OG might be able to pop off a Deadeye pretty quickly here if he clicks a couple of heads. They're once again going up this top route, but Team Solo ult are onto it. They're pushing much further up this time to harass them and not let them get that high ground without a fight. And it looks like they've even been pushed off now.
Yeah, early Graviton Surge coming out onto Sarcastica, and Igo Stripe Micro pops the Dragon Blade, gets 2 kills with that blade, as now they're getting a couple more kills, and they take down Pandy as well, who didn't have the revive anyway. They're continuing to just mop up rather easily, and realistically here with 10 seconds to go, they might be able to stall into overtime, but it's going to be a very rushed and staggered attack.
Yeah, it looks like they were sort of doing what they needed to do there, which was, bait out the ultimates, but they took a little bit too long to do it. They'd have done 5 or 10 seconds earlier, maybe they could have got back to the cart there, but they don't, and Team Solo ult holds on the 2nd point. Looks like our analysts were pretty on point with that one.
Yeah, BobbyJ in the end almost getting that 2nd point, but it looked like they were going to they were doing much better, and it looked like they were going to get that and possibly even the third one.
Yeah, I thought they were going to get there, and we've got someone just dropped out of the game, so we're going to have to pause. So let's get a pause out, please, guys. Thank you very much. And then, so I thought they were going to get it. The reses were working all the way up until the last checkpoint, so it was very close. So Wumbology did get better throughout it, but Team Solar Ult just had that better ult management, and they've just taken advantage of it. So as soon as it became the ult phase, because the first checkpoint moved so quick, we didn't really get to see ult management play into it. But once it got to the closer to the second checkpoint, when everyone was timing what ults to use when, Team Solar Ult just did a much better job.
And Doctor, your thoughts on that one? Again, just not quite getting the second point, but starting off very well.
Yeah, the thing is, they were doing so well without ultimates. Their mechanics were on point. And I think swapping to that McCree was a big factor. It was able to get those really early picks, and they were able to play around that hit scan so well, and he was doing such a good job, absence on that McCree. But that Mercy play as well, though, it just felt a bit lackluster in a lot of those reses as it went on, because you get rezzed into a fight that you're already losing, and as you saw, Team Solar Ult are managing their ultimates so well. They were rotating through them every time. They always had an answer for that res. So they always had something to just counter the moment they all came up. Whether it was an Earth Shatter, a Grav, another Baneblade, it was always something they had to answer it. And just the reason I said they wouldn't get second checkpoint is because no matter how fast they took that first point, which was actually quite extraordinary how well they took that first point, once it got down to the point where ultimates needed to be managed and rotated through, we saw Team Solar Ult's ability to manage those ultimates, and they pulled ahead with that. And they just played that more solid, concerted, structured play of they always knew what they were going in with, they always had a plan, and their positioning was built around it. You always saw Ziff in a position where he could always get in with that Reaper ult if he was required to. And you saw just perfect management. It was absolutely superb. And going forward now, you're just going to see, I think you'll see Team Solar Ult struggle a little bit on this first point, just because I think Wumbology's ability to just mechanically is quite there, but their ulti management and the way they're positioning is just letting them down a little bit at the moment.
And so, Genome, now the task has been set for Team Solar Ult. It's not really a tough ask for them, but we have seen in the past that on the first point of Dorado, that first chokehold can be extremely difficult to push through and can waste a lot of time.
Yeah, so Wumbology getting through it very easily, but Team Solar Ults, despite the fact that they've looked pretty good throughout this series, definitely looking like the better team so far, don't expect them to get through this straight away. It's definitely a very defensively favored first point here, and I give Wumbology every chance of at least making Team Solar Ult fight their way through it.
And so Team Solar Ult have done very well tonight. Of course, last week they beat Aftermind 2-1. In previous weeks, they did lose to Masterminds 3-0. They took 1 point off 2 Minutes One Noodle, and their 3-0 loss to Tempo Storm tonight should push them up to 10, almost, should push them up to about 10 or so points, depending on the final result here on Dorado. But they're looking very nice on the standings going forward, especially for one of the teams coming from Div 2.
Yeah, absolutely. They've had a great entrance into this prestigious Division 1 here, powered by Zowie, and it looks like we might be seeing a bit of a high ground hold with them. Interesting to see how long they stay up here.
And so now it's a last-ditch effort for Wumbology to hold on and defend for as long as they can to try and get any points out of tonight. And it's going to be a very tough ask, though, considering they did not get even the second point in their favor, let alone then pushing on through to the final stage of Dorado. So it's not a big task set for Team Solar Ult, and they should be able to do well, especially if they can get past this first chokehold rather quickly.
Yeah, we see the Mercy coming out for Birdie here. Can Birdie do a little bit better than we saw Pandy with those reses making them work? Noid holding strong at the choke point here. Igo Strive, look at him. All the energy he wants so far. It's going to be very hard to get through with Zaya right clicks just melting your health as she pushes through. And we see Zip! Wow! Oh my god, the Reaper plus Igo Stripe there doing so much damage. Zip didn't even have time to blink or recall and get out of that, as Razzle manages to take down Noid, but Cheerback's gone, and that's the Rhine Shield. It's going to be very tough for them to push through without that.
Yeah, the second that Ziff went down, Wumbology just came in and tried to clean up as many as they can, but it still wasn't enough. Lenzo, though, getting to kill onto Micro. I'm not sure why Team Solo Alt have gone back in without Trivac, and they're going to make it pay. Although the Nano Boost, well, that was completely wasted in the end as well. Nonetheless, mistakes coming out from both teams.
I don't think they were even trying to target anyone with that Nano Boost. I think that just might have been a fat finger, because it certainly wasn't the right time to pop the Nano Boost. So either way, Sarcastic are having a little bit of fun. That said, Pandy's already back up to 30%. If Noid takes a bit of damage, maybe he'll have it up again. Either way, they've got a Deadeye and a Death Blossom and an Earth Shatter to crush them, as it looks like Wumbology are going to try and come in from the high ground here, but Team Solo Alt, they are ready for it.
Yeah, Team Solo Alt coming in from the high ground, pushing onto Wumbology now. And they've also got 5 ultimates in their favor as Micro gets the Nano Boost. Rocket Barrage does take down Lenzo, and it's going to be now the chance for Team Solo Alt to continue to get a couple more kills. Wumbology will get the sound barrier in their favor, but they've lost Igo Stripe, and Noid is getting low. He's getting healed up now by Pandy, and they're really in a bad position. They've almost kind of swapped positions, and it's actually going to be the Pulse Bomb onto Noid, goes down to Ziff. Trivac was able to kill Absence OG right before that, and finally Team Solo Alt get the kills that matter, and they should be able to get this first point rather cleanly.
Here we go. I might have worked out the teams. If not, feel free to keep correcting me. I've got so many things scribbled out on my notepad here that I can't make head or tail of it. Team Solo Alt on the attack, as Ziff pushing out a little bit too far here. Maybe he thought they had this first point for sure, but they don't, because Wumbology have come in here on the defense. They've managed to recontest, and Absence OG gets the Nano Boost, and that's a really good...
Oh, the revive.
Oh, Birdie coming in with the revive. Is it enough? I'm not sure. They've still got a couple alive, but no. The same thing seems to be happening to Team Solo. Oh, the reses aren't making the difference. Oh, a great bionic grenade there. Oh, that did a lot of damage. Malekith has to be applauded for that, and a nice little BM sleep there at the end, but it's not enough.
And Genome, look at the clock. There's only 40 seconds left on the Zenox scoreboard, so Team Solo Alt are running out of time. And we've seen all night, these revives, they've been good. They've been getting multiple players, 3 or 4, but then they just get wiped anyway. Something is being said about Mercy and why a lot of players seem to be choosing Ana, Lucio, and Zenyatta over Mercy. Even with the bus on PTR, these revives are the biggest thing that she has in her pocket. As Micro gets the Nano Boost and the Rocket Barrage and cleans up 2 of them, Sarcastica and Lenzo. We're down to 14 seconds. Those Absence OG takes down Drazzle. Noid is able to kill Trivac as well, and then he pops the Earth Shatter onto Ziff. And can they get the kill onto him? Because that's the one that matters the most. And yes, they do. Absence OG. We're down to 4 seconds, and it's not going to be long for the world as Pandy as well. Absence OG takes down Micro, and they're running out of players. Malekith and Birdie, the last 2 alive. They've got to get the kill. Sarcastica comes back, sleeps Lenzo though from Malekith, and just giving time for Trivac and Drazzle to come back. This could be anyone's game.
Yeah, and it's overtime now. The spawns are longer. We're going to see less and less people trickling in here, as it looks like Team Solo Alt managed to just barely win that fight. My god, that was close. 2v2 there on the card at the end. Could have gone either way, but Team Solo Alt managing to take it out.
Well,
I feel like the fights when there's not many people left, Ana is so important in them. The ability for Ana to stop people healing up is absolutely key.
And so they got 2 minutes now to push on through past the church and onto practically the second point. And it wasn't completely capped, but it was essentially all the way there in the eyes of Wumbology. They got 2 minutes to hold on now. They did a really good job on the first point. They got to keep that momentum going as they take down Trivac, but they had lost Igo Stripe before that to Micro. So now the chance for Team Solo Alt to start getting some kills to go their way. And with 1 minute and 40 seconds to go, it's a bit of a brawl happening on the point. Lenzo with the Deadeye coming out though for Wumbology. Can he get any kills with this? They're all hiding carefully and out of plain sight.
Yeah, they are looking very scared of that, and bought some very valuable time as Lenzo and Pandy stay up there, sniping away, doing so much damage. But the fight is going the way of Team Solo Alt, it looks like. Micro picking up 3 kills, and only Igo Stripe on the high ground with the Winston left. He's just going to have to wait. Is he going to get picked off, though? That could be a really bad time for him to get staggered if the Genji can take him out here. I think he needs to either... He needs to jump back and get to safety really quickly.
Yeah, he almost took down Micro, but he is extremely low right now. Igo's Stripe. In fact, he dies.
There we go.
Micro came back for the kill, finished him up. So Mans is going to be a 5v6 here with 50 seconds left. This is right onto the point. Absence OG, they're going to get a good Beyblade. Can he get any kills? Drazzle did pop the barrier, but it's not going to serve him for much long. He follows up onto Malekith as well. Some nice pickoffs to give his team a chance to survive and hold on to this gun for the next 40 seconds.
Yeah, and Absence, he got down so low there, but the Pandy just keeping him alive, going on the high ground there. It was actually, he was dancing around. It wasn't like he was sitting in one spot. There were some hard Ana shots to hit, and Pandy was getting all of them, and that was really important there. Absence in the middle of the team, getting great heals to get off those last couple of heals. Last couple of kills. 10 seconds left, Zenox. This is it. It's do or die for Team Solo Ult if they want to win this third map.
Yep, final fight coming now. Charvik does have his Earth Shatter available, but Igo's Stripe has got the Polar Rage. Lenzo with the Deadeye, and we just saw the Sound Barrier coming up as well as Lenzo takes down Sif. That's a really good start for Wumbology. Malekith is going to be able to kill Noid though, so it's a 5v5. Oh, Lenzo! And Absence OG's got the Nano Boost as well, and this is not going right for Team Solar Ult. Pops the Death Blossom, and it's going to be Wumbology taking this one out over Team Solar Ult. They will get a win tonight. What a defensive hold from them. Congratulations to Wumbology.
Well done, and Lenzo just showing patience there. The Genji goes in front of him, he pops the Reflect, and Lenzo, in the overtime of the third map, keeps his cool and grabs a nice 3 kills for it. Wow, what did you think of that one, Doctor?
Absolutely huge lift in the game there from Wumbology. They got much better ulti management there as well. Like, as those points went, it was a bit struggling in the first point. We saw them waste a few ultimates, but they were doing really well mechanically to clean up the players of Solo Ult, and they could have actually quite easily held that first point, but it felt that the pressure got to them right at the end there when it was 2v2, and they just missed. There was a few shots being whiffed, and they couldn't get those final kills to close it out. It was very close, and the pressure got to them there, but they reconsolidated and just grouped up and rotated through those ultimates there like Solo Ulti did, and just won it with a really strong hold on first point with their mechanical play.
And interestingly enough, guys, Wumbology, that is their first points that they've gotten on the Zowie leaderboard. So congratulations to them for picking up their first 2 points with a win over Team Solo Ult. We will be getting the captains in for some quick Q&A once they pop into the Discord, but I'll go back to you, Doctor. For Team Solar Ult, they'd be pretty disappointed with losing that game because they looked like they were going to get, just looking at the scoreboard, they would have gotten up to 12 points. And so that would have given them real hope for trying to make the finals. Yeah,
it would have been a big boost for them there if they got that win. But I think pulling out the Mercy there kind of let them down. For both teams, pulling out the Mercy just doesn't favour them right now with the current meta. And they kind of let it go with just relying on a res where you just saw Wumbology lifted their game on that rotation of ultimates to just clean up after those reses. So, disappointed they didn't get their last win, but I'm pretty sure they'll be still quite happy with the result to get those first 2 maps.
And Genome, just quickly, your thoughts on that game before we speak to Birdie and Absence OG.
Yeah, well, I think Team Soul will definitely be disappointed with their attack, you know, not even getting to the end there. They looked a lot stronger in the other games, and I think, yeah, we're definitely going to have to ask these guys about the Mercy picks because it's not something we've really seen from a lot of other teams coming out in the current meta, and I definitely question it.
All right, Genome, so we've got Birdie in at the moment. If you want to ask him some questions, and then I'll ask Absence OG some questions.
Okay, so Birdie, you were on Team Solar Ult? Yes, okay. Team Solar Ult, how did you feel about that last hold on Dorado? Do you think the Mercy was the right pick there for you guys?
The Mercy's been what we've been practicing a lot in scrims, and it's been working. So it was like something that we thought it would be able to pull off, but in hindsight it probably wasn't the better pick, and we should have gone to something that we're more well versed on.
Okay, so why was it working in scrims? What do you think is the difference there versus how it played out in this game? Because we saw you getting, you know, some decent reses off. There were people coming back, but they weren't coming back in a position to win you the fights.
I think a lot of it wasn't really down to the picks. I think a lot of it is we took our foot off the pedal after going up 2-0, and we just kind of thought, yeah, it's an easy ride in. And of course, it's not. It's a Div 1 team. Absence OG's team is a really good team. And so we ended up taking our foot off the pedal and we weren't really playing to our full potential.
Okay, and you're obviously happy with your picks on the earlier maps. You thought I think you guys were running the Ana on Nepal.
Yeah, we run costs like Ana on cost like 90% of the time recently. I think it's just better.
Yeah, so what do you think the advantage is? So when we were watching Nepal, we were commenting that you guys were playing a very patient game, and you were using that to build up your Ana ult, and it looked like Wumbology didn't really push into you quickly enough. So was that the game plan you were going for there on Nepal?
Yeah, pretty much. We have the Reinhardt there to basically nullify the supports. It's harder for Zen or Ana to do anything if our Reinhardt's up, and if they run a dive comp, we've got McCree and Reaper to just shred the monkey jumping in. And so if they try and dive us, we've got the upper hand. It's pretty much like an anti-dive comp. And they just played dive, and so it worked out really well for us.
It did indeed. All right, let's hear from Absence OG from Wumbology.
Absence, first thing I want to say is congratulations for your first win and your first points in Division 1, so congratulations for that.
Yes, thank you.
I'll touch on as well as on Nepal. Team Solo Ult were very patient from what we noticed. Was that something you started to pick up on, that you guys were the ones always initiating those sort of fights?
Yeah, it's interesting because we haven't running the Ana, we haven't really learnt how to counter it so well because she's got so much more defense than, say, jumping a Zen. And so, yeah, our dive hasn't really been working so well since more teams have started learning to run Ana, basically. And
the other thing I wanted to ask as well was on Hollywood. You guys actually seemed like you were doing really well until one pivotal thing happened and Ziff went to Widowmaker. How big of a deal was that for you guys? Because he just seemed to turn things on and you couldn't deal with him.
Yeah, that was rather hard because I was playing McCree then, and it really, I don't know, put me off dealing with a Pharah because I was constantly worried about getting picked by the Widow. So yeah, I think it worked very effectively for them to have that comp going.
And obviously you won on Dorado, really good to see. Did you feel like the momentum had shifted back into your favor, even though you didn't quite get all the way on your attacking push? The start of it was really good. Like you pushed straight through the first chokehold really easily. And obviously in the end, it came to the second point where you faltered a little bit. But before that, you guys were much better.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of us not being ready to push in as a team and take the advantage because we kind of gave up that second point a bit easily. Yeah, when we could have pushed the cart there. But yeah, we picked up on defense more, I'd say, than attack, and we just brought that had a consistent level throughout our defense, which was really good to see.
And defensively on Dorado, you almost stopped Solo Ult in the first point. They just got it at the last second. Did you kind of feel like, oh, geez, they're going to go on and win now when we could have actually just won here?
I think we're pretty happy just forcing them to overtime on first point. So I don't think we were too worried at that stage because we felt we had some confidence that we could stop them on the second point with the smaller amount of time that they had remaining.
Just last question as well on your roster. You've had a couple of changes in recent weeks. Is this something that's going to now become stable with these sort of guys, or are you still possibly changing things up?
Yeah, well, we picked up Sarcastica after Bangs left us due to commitments. But we're still actually looking for players to fill in the Zari role on our team. We got iGhostRipe in today, and he played with us. He's subbed for us a fair bit now. But he's obviously got his own Div 2 team. So, yeah, we're going to be looking to fill that role as soon as we can.
Well, there you go, guys. Wumbology is even still looking for a member on their team. I think they'll probably have a link on the forums. Any final thoughts, Doctor, from tonight's games that you picked up on?
Really impressive to see the turnaround that came out at the end there. Felt a little bit lackluster with the way Ultimates were going early on, but it was good to see that lifting game right at the end there from Wumbology and get their first points on the board. Congratulations to them.
And just before we finish off for the night, Genome, any thoughts that come to mind?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the guy at Blizzard who doesn't allow you to choose team colors for the teams. Absolutely love that guy. Makes casting so much fun. Massive shout out.
All right. So before we go, I'd like to thank the sponsors, Zowie, for putting up the cash, XSplit, of course, for helping broadcast it, Player.me, a great social platform for players alike, and Challenge and Plantronics Gaming, as well as eLeague.gg. Tonight was the Overwatch from GameStar eLeague Spring Series. Thanks for tuning in to everybody. Unfortunately, that we didn't hit 100 for the mug ruffle, so Div 2 is better than Div 1 confirmed, Kappa. But in the end, it was a really good night, really contested games, and for Wumbology to get their first win on the board. I'd like to thank all of the casters tonight, BobbyJ, Dr. Genome, as well as the man behind the machine, Crisis, for doing an excellent job with his camera work as always. Until next week, guys, we'll see you then. Bye-bye.